If you regularly visit the UK to see family, travel, or attend business activities, applying for a long-term UK visitor visa could save you from making a new visa application every time. But there's an important point. A long-term visitor visa does not mean you can live in the UK for years. So, who can apply? How does the process work? How much does it cost? And what can lead to refusal? Let's break it down. If you want to know how to fill out the UK visitor visa application step by step, we have a separate video covering the complete application process. You can watch that video for a detailed guide. A long-term UK standard visitor visa can be issued for 2, 5 or 10 years and allows multiple visits during that period. However, each individual visit is normally limited to a maximum of 6 months. You also cannot use frequent or successive visits to effectively make the UK your main home. So, this visa is mainly useful for people who expect to visit the UK regularly, whether that's to visit family and friends, travel, or carry out permitted business activities. Now, who can apply? Both visa nationals and non-visa nationals can apply for a long-term standard visitor visa. Whether you actually need a visa depends on your nationality and circumstances. Before applying, you should check whether you need a visitor, visa, an ETA, or neither. The most important part of the application is proving that you are a genuine visitor. UKVI needs to be satisfied that you will leave the UK at the end of each visit, that you have enough money to cover your trip, and that you will not work or access public funds unless the activity is specifically permitted. You should also show that your main home and your personal, social, and economic life remain outside the UK. If you are applying for a 2, 5 or 10-year visa, it also helps to explain why a long-term visa actually makes sense for you. For example, if you regularly visit family in the UK or expect to make repeated business trips, explain your expected travel pattern and support it with evidence. And remember, your visits don't necessarily have to have exactly the same purpose. Different visits could involve tourism, visiting family, or permitted business activities, as long as you follow the visitor rules every time. UKVI will also look at your overall circumstances. This can include your immigration history, previous UK visits, financial situation, family and economic ties, your reasons for traveling, and the amount of time you have previously spent in the UK. One major warning is the pattern of your visits. There is no simple rule saying you can automatically spend 6 months in the UK every 12 months. Even if an individual 6-month visit is lawful, frequent and successive visits could raise concerns if they suggest that you are actually living in the UK. So, what can lead to refusal? Weak ties to your home country, inconsistencies between your application and documents, unclear finances, previous immigration problems, or a travel pattern that makes the UK look like your main home can all create problems. Now let's look at the application process. First, check whether you need a visa and decide whether a 2, 5 or 10-year visa is appropriate for your circumstances. Then, complete the online standard visitor visa application from outside the UK. After that, pay the application fee, prove your identity, provide your biometrics, and submit the required supporting documents. Your documents should support what you have said in your application, including your purpose of travel, finances, accommodation, previous travel history, and ties to your country of residence. Now, let's talk about the fees and processing time. As of 18 August 2026, the fees listed in the guidance are £135 for up to 6 months, £506 for 2 years, £903 for 5 years, and £1,128 for 10 years. A standard visitor application is usually decided within 3 weeks after you apply online, prove your identity, and provide the required documents. Faster services may also be available in some locations for an additional fee. Finally, there are some risks to keep in mind. A visitor visa refusal normally does not come with a right of appeal or administrative review, although the correct legal remedy depends on the circumstances. UKVI may also grant you a shorter visa than the duration you requested. And even after receiving a long-term visa, you still have to comply with the visitor rules on every trip. If your future travel pattern suggests that you are using the visa to live in the UK, you could face problems at the border. So, the key point is this. A long-term UK visitor visa gives you the convenience of multiple visits, but it is not a route to living in the UK. If you can clearly demonstrate that you are a genuine visitor, have strong ties outside the UK, have sufficient funds, and have a credible reason for making repeated visits, you can put together a much stronger application.